What's up everybody, and welcome back to my channel. This is just a quick update video from a story I read on the Ashley.com. I'm gonna put a link down below to her website if you want the full interview that Leah did with this podcast. So Leah was on this podcast. It was called Knockin Down Doorz. Again, I heard about the interview through the Ashley. I also saw it through Leah's stories, but I was like, listen, I don't have time to listen to her on a podcast to talk about her addiction situation, just because it feels as though it's coming up this season of the show, so I'm kind of waiting to see how it plays out there. And she also talked about it in her book as well. So I assumed it was going to be the same old, but no. Apparently, Leah, for the first time, came out and said she tried heroin. Like, she was so deep into addiction that she tried heroin. And not only that, but I guess she was taking so many pills at this point that heroin didn't feel like anything to her. Yeah, she actually said, and I quote, "I actually tried heroin once. My personal experience is I didn't feel anything from it. I think it was divine intervention. It was when you can't find pain medication, there was the heroin. It's cheaper and an easier form. I was actually with my dad when I had done it." I can't even describe how sad I feel for her that things took this much of a turn. Remember, she claims that her addiction to pain medication started when she had a botched epidural when she was delivering her daughter Addie, and so she needed a lot of medication. She was overprescribed, which is something that happens a lot. I know that, like, back in Canada, in I think it was Victoria, British Columbia, there was this documentary I remember watching and just sobbing because there were all these people, you know, who just lived such normal lives. They were, you know, people's friends, they were people's children, they were like people's parents, you know, they had these wonderful jobs. Like, even if they didn't have wonderful jobs, they were all just regular people who had an accident. They would go to the doctor overprescribed, and before they knew it, their whole lives were down the drain. They were homeless, they were turning to prostitution, like all these awful things, because they became addicted to pain medication. And you know, it did lead into heroin abuse and other like drug abuse. So just to know that this was happening to her so young in front of the cameras as well is heartbreaking. Like, the fact that she went and like felt like she needed to do heroin. But not only that, but the fact that her family is so messed up that she was doing heroin with her dad. What? I don't know what to say about it. Like, that is so sad that like he finds himself in this situation. Like, she was buying you know, these drugs on the streets, etc., obviously. And then when she was on the show trying to get better, because at this point she felt suicidal because she felt like there's no way to bounce back from what it is that she's going through, that she was just going to fail herself, fail her children, fail everyone in life. She tries to go to rehab. One of the producers, Larry, pushes her to go to rehab, and then what does her mother do? Her mother, who, by the way, I believe secretly hates her and is constantly trying to sabotage her, tells her, "Corey's gonna take away your kids if you go. Don't go." Like, she would rather see her daughter pass away and lose her life to drug addiction than to see her get better. You know, like, it was just, it's so heartbreaking to hear this story. I truly don't even know what to say about this level of dysfunction, generational dysfunction. It is just so freaking sad. But thankfully, Leah is doing much better. She claims that she completely kicked her addiction. I don't know if she completely kicked her addiction. I guess we just have to take her word for it. And the reason I'm suspicious about it is because this was some hardcore stuff that she was doing. You know, it's very hard to overcome it. So I wouldn't be surprised to hear that she relapsed here and there, like, along her journey. You know what I mean? No judgment on it. I'm just saying that it would be pretty par for the course with people trying to kick a drug addiction, to falter every so often. But, you know, thank God she got out of it. I would love to see her mom publicly apologize for that, because to this day, it still pisses me off that she did that to Leah, knowing how deep into her addiction she was and how close she was to death at that point. Like, her mom is pure trash, and I really want to see her dad come on the show as well, just so we can get a better picture of their dynamic. Like, you would think she didn't even have a dad, because you only ever see her mom and her stepdad, but never her biological father. So I would love to see a sit-down conversation between Leah and her parents, even if it's off of Teen Mom, but like as its own aside special, just to like you know, illustrate these sorts of things to people, I would be just, oh my God, 100% captivated by the whole thing, because it just sucks when both of your parents are failures as parents and set you up to be a failure as, you know, an adult and as a parent yourself. Like, it's just, you know, the generational stuff within all of these people, not just Leah, but like the generational poverty in Caitlyn and Tyler as well. You know, Jade Klein, like there's just so much of it, and it's just so interesting, you know, outside of their individual storylines. I would really love to see a sit-down conversation now that these girls are older, and with their parents, about how important it is for people to wait before having kids. Have your life in order, you know, because if you don't, you're gonna have kids, you're gonna raise them to the best of your ability, but unfortunately, based on your circumstances, it's not that great more often than not, you know. And then you've got these kids who have like this glass ceiling as to what they can accomplish, just because they haven't been equipped the same way other kids are who had parents who were in a better place when they had them. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm so interested by this story. Anyway, if you want more information about what it is that Leah said in the podcast and to see a little clip of it, I've got the link to the Ashley's article down below for you to continue reading up and listening to what happened in this interview and what it is that she talked about in regards to her past addiction issues. What do you think about the situation? And would you like to see like a sit-down conversation between Leah and her father at one point on Teen Mom 2? It seems like she's gonna be open about this, so why not bring the dad over so we can get a glimpse of how much he contributed to her struggles, and heck, even her mom. Make sure to let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.